If you're struggling to stay present, if you cannot sit still without fidgeting, if your emotions constantly feel too loud and too intense or like they're going to consume you, don't be worried. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You just don't feel safe in your body yet. And no one taught you that emotional safety was even a thing, probably, right? That your body doesn't just need food, water, and sleep. It actually needs safety to exist in the present moment. Because presence isn't available when your nervous system feels under threat, when your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode, when your inner world feels unsafe, presence feels like exposure, right? Like danger, like that complete discomfort. And you cannot be present in a body that feels like a battlefield, that constantly feels like it has to defend itself and brace itself and brace for impact. So let's really drop into this. Presence sounds beautiful, but for most people, and especially women, it's incredibly vulnerable. To be present, you have to be still. To be still, you have to feel. And to feel, you have to face yourself. And that's terrifying for a body that's never felt safe enough to slow down. For somebody who cannot control their thoughts, who cannot even be still with their own thoughts for 2 minutes. If your life has been built on survival, on emotional survival, on relational survival, on identity survival, then your body has become used to scanning and preparing and overthinking and bracing for the next moment. So, no, you're not grounded. You're completely guarded. You have a huge wall up. And from that guarded place, everything to you becomes a threat. Stillness becomes unbearable. Silence becomes a trigger. Healthy relationships become very boring. Peace becomes completely foreign to you. Love feels very risky. And joy feels unsafe. Vulnerability feels like, again, exposure. So, of course, presence feels hard. Of course, you struggle to be in your body. It's not because you're doing it wrong, it's because your body doesn't know yet that it's safe to be here. It doesn't know the difference between an actual traumatic situation and dangerous situation versus you just feeling uncomfortable, or you just not feeling good right now, or you just putting in an effort into something, or being in just an uncomfortable situation overall with somebody or with something. That brings me to emotional safety when it comes to embodiment, because emotional safety is a prerequisite for true embodiment. This is why all the embodiment work, breath work, self talk, mindset work doesn't land if you skip this one thing: creating safety in your inner world. Because without emotional safety, every sensation gets perceived as a threat. And that rising anxiety, that ache in your chest, that tightness in your throat, that clenching of your jaw, your racing heart, your stiffness, if you've been taught to suppress your feelings, those sensations will feel overwhelming. So your body completely shuts down. You completely dissociate. You scroll, you numb, you distract, you coach yourself out of feeling. You're trying to fix the feeling instead of just feeling it. You're trying to take action and change something within you immediately instead of just sitting with it and feeling it. Or you try to overly protect it by hiding behind that mental health awareness, when in reality, this doesn't change a thing for you either, right? But regulation doesn't come from fixing. That's what you need to understand. It simply comes from giving your nervous system proof that it is actually safe to stay, that you are being safe, that your emotions aren't too much, that discomfort doesn't mean danger, that feeling doesn't mean that you're spiraling. You were never meant to feel unsafe in yourself, but you were also never taught how to create emotional safety. You were taught to perform, right? To be that good girl, to be the high achiever, to be the hustler, to be the emotionally strong one. You were taught that crying was weakness, that softness was just being impractical, that vulnerability was something that you had to earn. So now, even when life is stable, your body stays on edge. Even when nothing's wrong, you cannot relax. Even when love shows up, you flinch, you want to run away, you want to run the opposite direction. And you've confused high functioning survival with actual regulation. And that's a problem. But deep down, you're just tired. Your body is exhausted from carrying the weight of pretending to be someone else, of pretending to be fine, of pretending to be okay. But you're not meant to live this way. You were never meant to fear your own inner world, right? So what does emotional safety actually feel like? Well, let me tell you, it feels like softening for no reason, without needing a reason. It feels like taking a deep breath, conscious breath, and knowing you don't have to earn the next one. You can just let go. You can just anchor into deep breathing and actually feeling your body. It feels like noticing and sitting with your emotions without spiraling or trying to fix them, without trying to take action. It feels like choosing to stay with yourself even when it is messy, even when it is hard, even when it is uncomfortable. It feels like no longer abandoning your own truth for someone else's comfort, right? To make someone else feel better about themselves. And here's the wild part: the moment your body feels emotionally safe, everything begins to regulate on its own. Your breath automatically slows, your thoughts automatically clear, so your head doesn't feel like it's about to pop and explode anymore. Your emotions actually start to process instead of bubble up and try to explode. Your heart starts to speak louder than your mind because you're speaking from your soul. And this is where embodiment actually begins. Not in a moment you look powerful, but in a moment that you stop hiding from your inner world and you actually anchor into yourself. The work is this simple and this deep. And creating emotional safety isn't about controlling your feelings, right? It's about being able to sit with what's real without judgment, without running away, without suppressing it, without fear, without flinching. So you build that safety just one step at a time, right? You don't need to run the whole marathon yet. You build that safety one step at a time, one breath at a time, one self-honoring and self-respecting decision at a time. So next time you feel like you're spiraling, next time your body is screaming and your thoughts are completely acting up and spiraling, don't ask what's wrong with me. Don't go into shame mode. Don't hide away from it. Just ask yourself, what does my body need to feel safe right now? Can I stay with myself even here? Can I breathe and soften and stay present even in this? Because that's where your real power lies. You've been trying to access presence through forcing yourself, through all of this work and through never stopping. You've been trying to access your embodiment through performance. You've been trying to regulate without safety. But the truth is that you don't have to earn any of these things. You don't have to fight to feel safe. You don't have to abandon your emotions just to function, right? You just have to stay and feel and listen and breathe and remind your body that it is safe to be with yourself right here, right now. Because emotional safety isn't a luxury, it's your baseline. It should be your baseline. It's the foundation that presence, embodiment, and transformation are actually built on. So you need to slow down, you need to come back to yourself, because you were never too much. You were just never given the space and the tools to feel it and still be loved. Now you get to give that space to yourself. And that is where you finally come home. So again, for the last time, no, presence has not never been this difficult. Presence has never been this easy.